Hello everyone and welcome to day 3 of our Zoey and Zeke overall sew along. Today we'll be working on the front bib and the waistband. Let's start with the front pocket. I've decided to add that front bib pocket. If you're not adding that one, obviously you will be skipping the steps. If you're adding tomorrow the back pockets on the skirt or the bottoms, you'll be creating the same pockets the same way I'm creating this one today and placing it. I will not be adding tomorrow the back pockets on the skirt, so keep this video bookmarked for if you need help with sewing the back pockets, because they're done exactly the same way. They're just a little taller than this one. So I went ahead and pressed 1 inch at the top and then ½ inch on all sides. So what I like to do to have a nice clean finish is open up the pocket and then fold right sides together. Just trust me, it's gonna work. Fold the right sides together, and we're going to stitch 1 inch down along the ½ inch fold line on the side. This will give it a nice clean look. Okay, ½ inch. And you want to do that on both sides. And you have to do this step with the sewing machine. So again, on this side, I'm sewing ½ inch away from the raw edge. Okay, so you can see where I've sewn, okay, on both sides here. So now I'm going to trim the corner here, both of them on the outside, and flip this like so. Push out the corner, push out the corner, and see how nicely it's inside here. There's no corner coming out, nothing poking. So keep this in mind for if you want a clean finish to your side. So now you can just go ahead and top stitch. This won't fray because it's knit, but if you want to use your cover stitch for this step, definitely do that. Or you can just go ahead and top stitch with your sewing machine because it won't fray. Optionally, prior to doing all these steps, you can run your raw edges through your serger, but because it's neat, I really don't feel like you need to. So now your top is done. This is what it looks like. Again, I don't care about that part. Now you want to fold all your edges like so, and you can either baste them in place, or you can use a double-sided tape, a water-soluble double-sided tape to hold them in place, whatever you prefer. I think I will baste them down and then use double-sided tape to place them on my front bib. And I will have 2 rows of stitching, but I don't mind. Pre-pressing makes a whole lot of difference. You see now, because I've pressed this already, it stays nicely and it works with me as I sew. Okay, it's all basted in place. Like so. Give it a good steam press. And what I like to do right now is just add a little bit of water soluble stabilizer on the sides. This is the Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts water soluble stabilizer, because I know this one will disappear once I wash the overalls. And I put some along the four sides, not the top. This is instead of using pins. Okay, take your top piece, your main. If you have a main and a lining, take your main piece. I went ahead and followed Michelle's instruction and added a strip of water of tricot interfacing to the top. This will help when I add my hardware or when you add your buttons. Just a strip of interfacing at the top, roughly around 2 inches wide. So I did that, and now you can see I have my markings here, and I see the pins on my back. So I will use the markings that I made to place my pocket down. Remove the paper backing of your double-sided tape. You can obviously use pins if you want for this step. I find double-sided tape to be nicer to use. And center your pocket okay. Here. And there you have it. Mine blends in because it's the same fabric. Oh, it's a little lower. That's good. Okay, and now I can remove my pins from the back. Okay. Tap, 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 and there you go. This is the pocket that stays simply with the double-sided tape. So now I'm going to go ahead and stitch all around. About 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And pivot at all the corners. Of course, you won't be stitching at the top part, because that's where you want your pocket to be. And there you have it. Give it a good press so you remove any waviness, and your front pocket is done. Mine does blend in because it's the same fabric. Okay, now you want to take the lining piece of your front, which is this one, and you want to place it right sides together, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing we did yesterday. We're going to be stitching all around the side, the top and the bottom. And again, I'll do that with my serger. little faster. Done. Again, we're snipping the corners to reduce the bulk and turning it right side out. Okay, let's poke out the corners and top stitch. Just like we did yesterday on the back. Only this time we have no straps. Okay, the front bib is completed. Up next we're going to be working on the waistband. So again, this is normal, a little waviness is normal. It will disappear once I go ahead and give it a good press, which I'm going to do right now, and then we'll work on the waistband. Let's go ahead and work on the waistband. I've decided to add grommets to mine. You don't have to, you can simply put buttonholes or do no holes at all and just leave it plain. Absolutely, they're purely decorative, so, but why not? It adds a little extra something. So I went ahead and fused a piece of tricot interfacing to the main waistband. Mine are the same, but if yours are different, fuse it to the main. And it's centered. So now we're going to mark the placement of the grommets. So we fold it in half to find the center, and then we're going to put the grommets about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch away from the fold, and just to make sure it is centered. This is 3, so the center is 1.5 inches. Perfect. That was spot on. So this is where my grommet will go. I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole for the grommet, and I'm going to do both at the same time, both layers. You can see the hole is done and it's symmetrical on both sides. So, I was too lazy to put my attachment in my table press, so I'm going to use my good old-fashioned hammer for this step. Let's do bright blue, or this blue. No? Should we do this blue? No, we'll do the bright blue. So you need 2 grommets and 2 washers for the back. Okay, the grommet, the colorful part goes in the front. Oh, I need the holes to be a little bigger. So let's move to the biggest hole puncher I have here. And I'm going to do the holes again a smidge bigger. I thought I went with the bigger one, but I guess I didn't. Okay. If you need to make them larger, you can also use scissors. Okay, so we're going to put the grommet on from the right side. Then place it in your punching area. Put the washer on top. And then put this side that has the hole right on top and give it a good hammering. Done. So we'll do the same thing for the other grommet. And there you go. Let's put the grommet on top, the washer, and then the tool with the hole right here. Done. Look how cute it looks. And this is where we'll be adding our cord. I cut the cord out of 2 strips of cotton lycra. You don't have to. You can use pre-made cord if you want to, or I don't know, make like a little braided cord from 3 thin strips. You can be very creative because it's purely decorative. So we're gonna go ahead and make our cords on the serger from these 2 strips and then attach them to the waistband. Let's create the cord. To create the cord, you'll take your strip and you will sew these right sides together along the long edge like this. So what I like to do, here's the how I like to do my cord to make it easier to turn it inside out too. So I serge a rather long piece of serger tail, and I like to put my serger tail in here, in the places right here, and then start stitching with 1/4 inch seam allowance, making sure that I don't catch my tail, my serger tail, in the stitching. So the serger tail is right here where my nail is, and then I stitch it. And I'll show you the trick. And then you start serging all the way. At one point, your serger tail will become too short for the strap, for the pattern. So that's when you'll start to pull it in and it will pull in from the other edge. hope you can see what I'm doing. Maybe I'll do the other strap a little more zoomed in. So I'm stitching there, and then I'm pulling this in, and I did it long enough that I can go all the way. The key is to make sure you don't stitch your tail in the stitching. Put it on the other side. This one you can cut, and now you have your tail right here and your other end. So now what you will have to do is just pull on the tail and it will turn your tube. Give it a good tug here so it goes in here. This is the only part that needs a little help to make sure that the fabric folds inside. And done. I can feel it in my hand. So now I'm just pulling the tail, and like magic, see, I'm holding the seam allowance. That, see, done. And now my cord is turned without using any kind of turning tools. So on this end I will just tie a knot, and the other end will go in the, you can obviously now remove your tail, and I'll just tie a knot, and the other side will go in the waistband, and we'll do that in a second. Okay. See how easy that was to create your cord? Actually, oh, this one didn't need the knot because this is the side that goes in the side seam. So either way, I'll cut it. Not a big deal, it's long enough. Okay, let's do that one more time, and this time I'm gonna zoom you even more closer to the serger so you can see how I do the second one, because I think that's a pretty cute method to do your serger, do your cords with your serger without any turning tools. Hopefully you're not too close now. Excuse me. Okay, so this is my second one. I'm going to this is the serger tail that I have right now. Okay, you see it here. I'll stitch maybe 15 inches, 16 inches, see here, don't break it. And then take your strip of fabric, fold it, put your tail inside here, fold it right sides together, and stitch with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. Make sure that you don't catch the tail in the stitching here. Okay, you need the tail to be towards your left and the stitching towards the right. Okay, so I can feel the tail right here, and I stitch on this side. And you go all the way to the other end. Again, make sure that the tail is on the other side. if I feel like I don't have enough, I just pull on it and it just gathers here at the end. Here you can poke your fabric a little bit inside to give it a tug, and then when you pull your tail, it will just turn itself in the tube, which is what you want. So this way afterwards you can just pull it and turn it inside out. Okay, here, see? Let's finish stitching, because I think, yeah, I have enough to go all the way down now. Okay, see, my tail is past the tube. And now it looks something like this. Okay, we're going to hold on the seam allowance and pull on the tail, and now it's bringing, see, boom, ta-da, it's bringing the tube on the outside. There you go, and now you just turn it. And then on one end you tie a knot, and on one end you just leave it raw, because that goes in the waistband. There you go. So now you have both done. This raw edge, see how easy that was? And you did not have to use any tools whatsoever, and you've made your own cord. So now we're going to move to the sewing machine and baste the cords into the waistband. Okay, let's add the cords to the waistband. Take your one of the cords, and the side that doesn't have the knot, you push it from the outside through the grommet and you pull it on the other side, because the side with the knot won't fit in. Okay, same thing, the other cord, you push it through the grommet on the side that's raw without the knot. Okay, now you want to flip your waistband and you want to center and stitch like so. And of course you'll repeat the same step on the other side. You center your cord on the short edge like this, and you put it, baste it in place. So from the outside, see, you have your waistband added. That's so cute. Your cords added. Now, I have my center marked already here, because I've done that when I was cutting the pattern. If you have not marked your center, mark it now. Take the bib that we worked on earlier and match the center raw edge of the bib here. So this is my front with the pocket. Right sides together with the waistband that has the grommet, and match the centers. Okay, so now you're going to go and pin the waistband to the bib without stretching from the center to both sides. The waistband is longer than the bib. I'll show you from the other side because you can see it better. And that's one side, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. See, here the waistband is longer than the bib, and that's okay. You don't have to trim anything. Trust the process. So now we have the waistband and the front bib right sides together. Flip it over and place your lining right sides together with the bib. So the lining right side goes towards the lining right side of your bib. So you're basically, in a nutshell, sandwiching the bib in between the two waistbands. And I'm just putting the clips through all 4 layers. You do have 4 layers right now, which is pretty thick, especially if you're using French terry. So I'm going to be doing the next step on the sewing machine, not the serger. So I'll probably be using a triple stretch stitch. So you want to sew from one end to the other. I've done that off camera. I use the triple stretch stitch only at the top part, then fold, give it a good press, and then go ahead and top stitch if you want along the edge that includes the bib part. Optionally, you can baste this side closed. This way, when we attach this to the bottoms on the last day, I believe, this will stay together. So go ahead and do that if you want. Give it a good press, snap a picture of your progress, and post it in day 3 of our sew along album. You'll find the sew along album in the backstitch backroom. And I will see you back here tomorrow when we'll be creating the bottoms. We'll create the skirt, shorts, or joggers. Talk to you soon. Bye.